Determination of equilibrium level of income, output, and employment. Written, guys, all. Now, guys, let's first understand equilibrium of an economy. Forget about equilibrium level of income, output, employment. First, we understand equilibrium of an economy. Equilibrium means the state of being balanced. When something is in balanced state or in the position of balance, that is called equilibrium. An economy is at equilibrium when aggregate demand of the economy and aggregate supply are absolutely same. When there is a balance between the two, aggregate demand and aggregate supply are absolutely same. Why economy is at balance at that time when AD is equal to AS? Because what's your customers demand from the economy, the same is available in the economy. So that none of the demand of any consumer is uncatered or unanswered. Every demand is getting fulfilled. And from suppliers' point of view, from producers' point of view, whatever they have produced, right? Whatever they have produced, that all would be sold in the market. Why? Because the same amount of aggregate demand is there. So no producer will have any goods left unsold with him. So consumers on one side are happy because all their demand are getting satisfied. Suppliers on other side, they are also happy because whatever they produce, that all would be sold. They will not be left with any unsold goods. Am I clear? That is why this state where AD is equal to AS is said to be the state of equilibrium for an economy. So an economy is at equilibrium when its aggregate demand is equal to its aggregate supply. Have you understood, guys? Those who are online, Tanmay, Mansha,
Yes,
Anish,
sir.
Tahir, and Amatullah.
Sir, in which unit is this chapter for?
The same chapter, the same one that we continued. For you, there is no difference in the chapter, right? So equilibrium is a state when something is balanced. An economy is at equilibrium when its AD is equal to its aggregate supply because at this stage, demand of all consumers are catered and no producer has or is left with any unsold goods. So why consumers all the demands are being catered or are able to be catered because whatsoever they are demanding the same is available in the market as supply. And because of this, no producer would be left with any unsold goods with him. Whatsoever a producer produces, the same he would be able to sell in the market. I hope you have got this, guys. So, guys, when AD is equal to AS, that is when economy is at equilibrium. Corresponding to that, what sure is the, look at here, guys, what sure is the income or output of the economy? And what is income? Income is Y. And what is output? Output is aggregate supply. And you know that income and output are always same. That we have already seen. Y and AS are always same. So when AD and AS are equal, that time whatsoever is the AS, that itself is called equilibrium level of income or output. Have you understood what I said? So when economy is at equilibrium, the corresponding AS, which is always equal to economy's income, is known as equilibrium level of income or equilibrium level of output. And the corresponding level of employment is known as equilibrium level of employment. So when AD and AS are equal, guys, at that time, whatsoever is the level of employment in the economy, that would be called equilibrium level of employment. Now, guys, you should not confuse yourself that equilibrium level of employment and full employment are always same. No, they may not be. The term equilibrium level of employment looks very good, but it may not be equal to full employment, which every economy wants to achieve. Every economy wants to employ all of its resources. It wants full employment. It does not want anyone left unemployed. However, equilibrium level of employment is not full employment level, guys. I hope you have got me what I'm trying to tell you. So note that equilibrium of employment may not necessarily be full employment level. It may rather be under or unemployment also. That is underemployment or unemployment also. What is underemployment and what is unemployment? How are they different from each other? That also we will see, guys, in this same chapter.
सर अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट तो यानी एम्प्लॉयमेंट नहीं होता और अंडर वाला तो वो होता है ना मतलब एम्प्लॉयमेंट है पर बहुत कम है.
Employment hai, but somebody is not employed for 8 hours a day. He does not have 8 hours job daily. Or if he has 8 hours job daily, but he is not getting as much he deserves. That is also underemployment. Means
ओके सर.
he is performing lesser than what he can perform. I hope you have got this. A chartered accountant, when is asked to make only cash book in a big company, he is underemployed. Have you got me, guys? So when you are assigned a task inferior to your skills, knowledge, and experience, you are underemployed. Now, guys, we will determine, means we will see how to determine equilibrium level of income, output, and employment. Though we have already seen that when in an economy AD and AS are equal, the economy is at equilibrium, and at that point of time, what should be the AS of the economy? That is its equilibrium level of income or output. This I think you all have understood. And that point of time only, what should be the employment in the economy? That is called equilibrium level of employment. Correct? So approaches to determine equilibrium level of income and output, which is one the same thing, and employment. I hope guys you all have noted down everything till here. Right all? I'm asking all those guys who are online also.
नो सर.
Note down this guys fast. So guys, if somebody asks you what is equilibrium level of employment, what will you say? What is equilibrium level of employment? How will you answer it? Tanmay, can you answer this? What is equilibrium level of employment? Mansha, Anish, Tahir, Manya, Amatullah, anyone guys, those who are online?
That AD is equal to AS.
Yeah, means what
अगर
you हाँ बोलिए तन्मय
पर सर एग्जाम में तो इतना थोड़ी ना लिख के आ सकते AD is equals to AS अगर लिख दिया तो एग्जाम में पूरा तो
नहीं आपको
पैराग्राफ लिखना है ना.
yes you have to write a statement not exactly a paragraph but at least one statement you have to write and what would be that
The situation where aggregate demand is equals to aggregate supply where there is full employment. Right?
no it is not full employment
हाँ. क्या इक्विलिब्रियम employment.
right so when aggregate demand is equal to aggregate supply that time the level of employment is known as equilibrium level of employment right guys so guys there are two approaches one is called ASAD approach and one is called S and I approach. You know that in AD and AS, one this thing is common that is C. So what is different in AD and AS is here I and here S. That is here investment expenditure and here savings. So when AD is equal to AS or when I is equal to S, that time the economy attains equilibrium. And that is how we have the two approaches to determine consumers' equilibrium, guys. Got me? But before we start this approach, you should understand one more thing, guys. That out of AD and AS, it is AS that follows AD and not vice versa. Are you getting my point? What I explained, usko rakh do, please. Keep it inside the pocket. It is AS, it is aggregate supply that follows aggregate demand, that persuades aggregate demand. Looking at the demand, producers produce goods and services. We do not buy goods and services because producers have produced something. No, I hope you're understanding, right? So let's say in an economy, AD is increasing. What will happen with that? AS will also increase. But AS can increase only up to a level. Which level? Till the level of full employment. Once all the resources of the economy are fully employed, after that, AS cannot be increased. Because to increase AS further, you require more resources, but all the resources of your economy are fully employed. I hope you all are understanding, guys. Yes or no? I'm asking all. Have you understood this? So there are two approaches to determine equilibrium of an economy or equilibrium level of income output and employment. One is known as ASAD approach. Guys, after this line, please do not write anything. You note down this much and then do not write this. And here, guys, let me make a table. Do not make this table also. Okay, guys, let's say this is the data of an economy. In an economy, total 240 lakh people are there. This is the total workforce of an economy. This is not the total population. This is the total workforce. Those workforce means those who can work and those who are willing to work. These two conditions make you a part of workforce. You are willing to work and you are able to work. Right, guys? So let's say in an economy, the total workforce is 240 lakhs. But the economy is reaching equilibrium when its AD is equal to AS here, or S is equal to I here. So the equilibrium level of income of the economy is 100 crores. Equilibrium level of output of the economy, that is output means aggregate supply, is also 100 crores. And equilibrium level of employment of the economy is 90 crores, sorry, 90 lakhs. You can see, guys, that the equilibrium employment is not full employment, because full employment would be there when all 240 lakh workforce gets job. Before this point, when AD and AS have become equal, before this, AD was more than AS. After this point, that is after the point when the economy attained its equilibrium, now AS has become more than AD. Are you getting my point all or not, guys? You also know that at zero level of income, whatsoever is the consumption expenditure, that is called autonomous consumption expenditure and is presented as C bar. And whatsoever at zero level of income is the savings is called autonomous savings, that is S bar. So through this chart, I have tried to explain you ASAD approach. When we use AS and AD approach to determine equilibrium level of income, output, and employment, we only make these three columns. That is four columns. Column of income, aggregate demand, aggregate supply, and level of employment. And you can see here that when income of the economy is 100, that time AD and AS are also 100 crores. It means the economy has attained equilibrium here. And under SI approach, the second approach, we make columns of Y, C, I, S, and level of employment. Here also I and S are equal, that is 10 crores when income of the economy is 100 crores. So the corresponding level of employment is would be called equilibrium employment, that is 90 lakh workforce. And you can see that this is not full employment level, because full employment is 240 lakhs workforce. Have you understood, guys, this or not all? I'm asking all guys, those who are online also. So under this approach, AD and AS are compared. We know that for every economy in its initial stage, AD remains more than AS. It is because of lower or poor income level that time. Later, when income increases, C also increases and remains more than Y. This continues until the economy meets all its basic needs and subsequent or adequate amount of comfort. This, guys, we have discussed earlier also many a times that initially in every economy income remains very less, but yet there would be consumption expenditure because without consumption we cannot survive. So even though you do not have any income, yet you will consume something, and for that you would be using your past savings or savings of others, and that is why savings initially decreases. So instead of having any increase in savings, there is decrease in savings, and this is called dis savings. So minus 5 and minus 2 crores are dis savings here. Are you getting my point all? Now later when income keeps increasing because government does continuously investment expenditure on infrastructure development and social development, because of that income increases. But that time also C remains higher than Y, that is income, because the economy first wants to meet its basic needs and adequate amount of comfort. Once these needs and comfort are met, then Y and C become equal. And after that, Y goes higher than C. But now, since your basic needs and comfort are met, now you start saving. Before that, you were not saving, you were not able to save at all. Rather, you were using your past savings. And then this trend continues. With a further increase in income, your savings keep increasing. Why? Because you are not consuming as much as you are earning. Because your basic needs and adequate amount of comfort is already met. Understood, guys, or not all? So every economy, guys, has this trend of income, consumption expenditure, investment expenditure, aggregate demand, savings, and AS. Have you all understood, guys, or not? We have 5 minutes only for this session. After that, we will start BS, business studies. So tell me whether you all are understanding this much or not, guys. Anish, Mansha, Manya, Tahir, Tanmay, Amatullah. You can start noting it down, guys. ASAD approach. So guys, note down this much only for today, and then we will continue this tomorrow. And I hope guys you do not note down only the things, but you also after the class, once you get free, before you go to your beds, the same day, you go through this at least.